my attention. So we are going to be talking about how to grow your business. There's a lot of misconceptions out there. There's a lot of marketers that want to take your money and they're getting you to do stuff that doesn't make sense. So my intention today is to help make you all educated buyers when it comes to marketing, help make sure you understand what it actually takes to grow, how we're helping clients add 100, 200, even 300 or more doors a year organically to their business without wasting any money on SEO, pay-per-click, content marketing, social media marketing, paper lead services, etc. And by eliminating that stuff, I can actually help them grow faster. So if you've never heard of DoorGrow before, we are a coaching and consulting firm. We are also the world's leading branding agency for property management companies. And we are an amazing web design agency for property management companies as well. Basically, anything related to helping you grow your business, we focus on it. And we're really great at the operational piece, not just helping you add doors, because we like to basically break your business by helping you add doors too quickly. And then we'll help you solve the broken stuff that that starts to be revealed. So we're going to talk about all that today. If I go too fast, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. Sarah's going to be manning the chat. I've got some team members, Giselle here as well. And if there's anything that you need. So real quick, if any of you are wanting to grow, and you maybe have something coming up, you aren't able to stick out, the whole length of the call, you can always reach out and ask for the recordings to see all the details. But if you want to grow and you want to have a conversation with us and you're serious about growth and serious about investing in your business to grow and you want to make a lot more money, go ahead and grab this link right now. This is our shortened URL. It's drgrw.com/1HR. Or you can scan that QR code or just take a picture real quick and you can tap on it later in your phone. If you want to book a call, I will show this later as well to make sure that we get you on a call. All right. So I recommend all of you grab a pen or a pencil or something to take some notes. I'm going to share some frameworks, share some ideas. Any one of these things could be a game changer for your business. When you start to stack all of these, growth happens faster. This goes for several of you that are my existing clients right now. I recommend that you understand and remember these frameworks. It speeds up growth. So I would love to learn a little bit about all of you. I'm going to share a bit about DoorGrow. So go ahead and comment in the chat. And if it makes sense, we can hop on a call and talk about some next steps in the future. But go ahead and comment in the chat. Let me know how many doors you have right now, because I'm going to reveal to you our DoorGrow code later. And based on your door count, this is going to help us know how we can help you. And it helps me know who the audience is here today. Cool. Ed's got 318. Go ahead, throw your door numbers in here. Whether you're a startup, whether you're big, small, whatever, we can help you and we'll help you figure out what makes the most sense. All right, 450, 150, 183, 143. Okay, awesome. All right, throw your door count in here. We'll look at that afterwards and make sure if we're reaching out to you, make sure we are familiar. You want money, not doors. That's great, Ed. That's good. So, and if you can do it without doors in property management, let me know. All right, cool. So let's get into this. All right. So, you told me a bit about you, and also comment in the chat, like what do you feel like is holding you back from adding doors right now? Your biggest challenge, because I want to see if we can tackle several of these today on the call. What do you feel like you just need more of in order to get more doors, or what's holding you back? What's preventing you? All right. Good team members. Some of you might think it's leads that you need. You just need more leads. Maybe you need better systems, ops. Go ahead and comment in the chat what you feel like you need in order to get to the next level in your business. All right. So I'll tell you a little bit about DoorGrow. If you want to hear people talk about DoorGrow, and I've got several clients here on this call, we actually do what we teach and, and what we talk about. We're legit. And if you don't believe us, we have more testimonials, case studies, videos than any other coach or consulting company in the property management space, period. And these are just people that we've captured on calls similar to this. Several of people on this call are my clients. They know that we actually teach useful stuff, and we're legit. And so, but I want you all to learn this for yourself. So you can scan this. This will take you to our YouTube playlist. You can also just go to youtube.com/DoorGrow, click on the playlist that we have. You can watch our funny videos playlist if you want to, but go ahead and click on our case studies there and watch as many of those. Because if you trust us, then you'll probably work with us. And if you work with us and you trust me, then you'll do what I tell you to do. And if you do what we tell you to do, you'll get results. And if you get results, you're going to be happy, you're going to win, and you will get more money, Ed. So, all right. So let's get into this. And yeah, and it's not just about doors. We're really good at helping increase our clients' profit margin. So let me give you share a couple of quick stories. So we just had our DoorGrow Live conference. Kent was at our event sharing his story, and he went deep in sharing some emotional stuff. He was struggling when he first came to us. In 6 months of focusing on growth, once we shifted from our rapid revamp class, which we cleaned up the front end of his business. It's kind of like bar rescue for property managers. I'll show it later. After that, he started focusing on growth. In 6 months, he was at 105 doors from zero. So if Ken can do this from zero, any of you who have 100 plus whatever doors, even Jesse with 11, you all can add a bunch of doors too. And he did this only he had maybe an hour or two a day, because he was also trying to run the business, fighting a custody battle, trying to take care of his daughter. Like, he was dealing with a lot of stuff, and he was able to make this happen. And so he's now at his last check-in, you can see, which was, that's today, was 150. And so that's about a year of focusing on getting business. And that's pretty good growth. And he just got an operator. He's really getting primed for scalability. Will Frazier, you can see he's added a good amount of doors. He focused on the neighbor strategy, started connecting with another set of clients in a similar market. And one of them does a long-term, one of them does short-term, and they're trading business, sharing referrals. It's one of our growth engines. It's the neighbor strategy. And he upgraded his mindset. Really positive guy. And he was at our DoorGrow Live conference that we just did this past weekend as well. Mark and Brandon Kodiak, they're lifelong friends. They wanted to quit their day jobs and start a business together. That was their dream. And they had, 36 units, I believe, when they came to us, and they were wanting to get out of their day job, scale, and we helped them to do that. So I gave them some interesting, different advice in how to do that. And they quit their day jobs a little bit earlier than expected, which was awesome. They broke the 100-door barrier. Looks like just a few days ago, they did a check-in. They're at 178, which is awesome. And they've quit.
They haven't onboarded, I think, the 114 yet. That comes in July. And then they just took on 50.
Oh, man. So they're growing. Growth is no longer their challenge. So now it's going to be ops and scalability. All right. Foundation. So Brian's on this call. Brian's got the castle in the background. What's up, Brian? So when Foundation came to us, they didn't have an operator yet, and then they hired Brian. And but they, in their first year with us, they had about 226. It looks like the next year about 337, and then Brian helped facilitate a lot of that. You can see he's the one doing the check-ins. Then Brian left that business. Brian then is now working for Jeff, another one of our clients, and jumped over there. And we just saw both of them at DoorGrow Live. Jeff, in his first 4 months with us, we helped him replace all of his team members except one. And he did an acquisition deal based on some material from one of our coaches in our platform. And he was able to do a 250 unit acquisition and add some other doors. He was at about 450, 420 in 4 months, I guess. I don't know if I haven't updated these stats, but anyway, hired an awesome operator, which is Brian. And and I think he can very easily get to 1,000 pretty quickly. So Michael Sullivan, one of our clients, came to us. He had 135 doors. Basically, he doubled his doors And even cooler, he doubled his profit margin, getting it to over 50% using some of our strategies. And that's the good stuff, right? It's not just about adding doors. If you can double or triple your profit margin, some of y'all don't have very good profit margin, it's pretty typical, then you make a lot more money. It's about what you take home, right? And there's several other clients. I'm going to skip ahead. All right. So I've talked to thousands of property managers, and after talking to thousands of property managers over the last decade, since like 2008, seeing my brother get into the industry, build his business up. My dad decided to become a property manager, build his business up. Sarah had her own property management business. And I've talked to thousands of clients. One of the things I've noticed is there is a lack of clarity. There's lack of clarity in the industry. And if entrepreneurs know what to do, nobody can stop you. You're super motivated to do it, which is why I love being around entrepreneurs. So there was a lack of a roadmap. And this is kind of based on patterns and things that I've seen over the past decade. And this is a picture of me at a previous, like a DoorGrow live event, kind of sharing this before I had made it, kind of just these patterns I started to notice at certain door ranges, certain financial revenue ranges, noticing different challenges and different things that were holding people back. There's different like pillars or pitfalls or stages or whatever you want to call it, plateaus where people hit. So I developed what I call the DoorGrow code. So this is a roadmap. And if you would like a bigger version of this or a prettier image or whatever, you can always let us know. We're happy to share it with you. This is the secret to how to scale from 0 to 1,000 doors very quickly. We have helped clients through every single stage of this, including, like I showed you, getting a client over 1,000 doors in 2 years. And we can help you move through this code and solve the different challenges. So let me tell you a little bit about me real quick. So my purpose, the reason I do all this, you're like, why does Jason even do all this? Why does he pick property management? My why or mission is to inspire others to love true principles. And so what that means is I love learning, I love figuring out what works, and I love sharing it with other people. This is why I spend a ridiculous amount of money on masterminds, coaches. I'm in 2 masterminds currently. I have a sales coach I'm working with because that's a focus in our business right now. What else? And I'm always buying new books and new trainings. I'm always learning. I love to learn, and I love to turn around and be able to share what I learn with all of you. That's just fun for me. I would do it for free for fun. And so DoorGrow really is this bridge or this vehicle to get me what I want out of life, which is to be able to have that impact and to share what I want to share with others. Our mission is DoorGrow. Everybody in my team believes this, or they don't stick around very, very long, is to transform property management business owners and their businesses. This is what we talk about every day as a team. How do we help our clients succeed? How do we help them grow? And that's probably what all of you want. So our interests are in alignment. I get to live my dream by helping you live yours. And so I know it's easier to trust people's motives and incentives. And my motive is to help you win. We love doing that. So I want you to take a quick inventory. How are you currently feeling in your business? Is it on this side? Stressed, frustrated, annoyed, overwhelmed, falling behind? It's heavy. Or do you feel excited? And I want you to notice that when you watch the testimonials and case studies of our clients, because most come to us feeling like this. And this is how I want you to feel: excited, passionate, proud, supported, fulfilled, accomplished. We don't, this is a quote from the philosopher Noel Gallagher from the band Oasis. He said, "I don't live to work, I work to live." And I want all of you not to just live for the job. I want you to really enjoy your life. And so our primary goal as coaches and with our team for our clients is what I call the 4 reasons. And so this is one of the first framework I'm sharing with you all. If you understand these 4 things and keep your business in alignment with these, you will have a much better business and you will have a lot more profitability. And if you have these 4 things, it might be possible for your team members then to have it, which if you do, I typically find you get 3 times the output from your existing team. This is a big deal when it comes to profitability. And if you're growing your business without focusing on these 4 things, you are becoming more and more miserable in your business every day. The first number 1 reason we start a business is fulfillment. That's its primary goal because you're spending the majority of your time in it. So it should be your primary source of fulfillment, like enjoying what you're doing. You get to spend your day doing what you enjoy doing. Number two, it should be to give you freedom. Your business should give you freedom. If you're spending the majority of your day in your business, you should not feel like a prisoner in it. And that's usually done by giving you more money, right? Like if you have more and more money, you have more choices in life. But I've seen this over and over again. It's very possible. Some of you may be experiencing this right now. You have more money coming through your business than you've ever had, and you're more miserable than you've ever been. This is very common. This is the default for every entrepreneur that starts a business. So we need to refocus and get out of that. If you have fulfillment and freedom, the third reason for starting a business is contribution, right? Real businesses solve problems. Good property managers are superheroes that solve three of the biggest problems that exist in real estate investing. The three most complained about things on the planet just might be landlords, right? Tenants, and rental properties. And you are the magical people, the superheroes that make all three of those behave better. And you deserve to get paid well for that. There should be good compensation for that, but that's real contribution. You're making a difference in the world. And I know that through my clients, I can impact hundreds, thousands of families, tenants and owners that you have impact on. And the fourth reason for starting a business is support. How many of you enjoy wearing every hat in your business? By show of hands. Oh, there's no hands, right? So nobody does, right? I don't. There's lots of things I don't enjoy doing. I can do everything. And a lot of you, when you started your business, did everything. I did everything. I designed logos. I did websites. I coached clients, like everything. I don't do everything now. And I really get to enjoy my day. And I want that for all of you. So you can't really have the first three without that fourth one, which is support. You need a good team. Now, there is a fifth reason. This is what makes everyone else on the planet different than you. This is the majority of your clients. This is the majority of your team members that you're going to hire. They're not like you. They're not an entrepreneur. They usually want safety and certainty first. They want all those things. They want freedom. They want fulfillment. They want contribution. They want support, but they want safety and certainty first. This is what most people are buying. Most people don't care about property management. Your clients generally don't care about it. What they want to buy from you is peace of mind or safety and certainty. Some of you are selling the wrong product. You're trying to sell property management and you're wondering why you're not closing deals. Okay. So that's a secret. That's the fifth reason. Oh, I already mentioned this. You're the superheroes. Maybe I should reorder those slides. All right. So this is the wrong way to grow, is that over time you have more stress, more work, et cetera. You get to the point where you've added so many doors to your business that now adding more doors no longer sounds fun or exciting to you. You know deep down that it means your life's going to get worse and there's more stress, which tells me you've built your business the wrong way. And that's okay. Everybody does that initially. The right way to grow, the way we coach clients, is you should be making more and more money, have more and more of the four reasons, and it feels less and less like work. And so what do you need most? What does the business need most? And which is more important? Both are important, but a lot of times we're just giving the business what it needs and not giving ourselves what we need. And then you end up with the wrong business or the wrong team. So real quick, I'll share a framework called the 6 core functions. And then I'm going to get into how to stackable frameworks for leads. This is something I took my clients through today on our growth coaching call. This helps you figure out what does the business need most right now. So if you rated these 6 things, the first is lead gen, like getting information of people that might be interested or could be clients. Second is nurture, like following up, warming up the prospects, nurturing them. Third is conversion, closing the deal. These first 3 are sales. Like a lot of people will say, oh, I need to increase the sales revenue in our business. We need to close more deals. Lead gen, nurture, conversion. Conversion is your ability to close deals and convert people into a client. Number 4 is delivery or fulfillment. This is property management. This is doing inspections, leasing, maintenance coordination, etc. And 5th, customer lifetime value, CLV or LTV, lifetime value, retention, resell, upsell, pricing. How much money are you making off of a client in the lifetime value of them being a customer. And then number 6 is finances, the financial cash flow, revenue, expenses, profit, reporting, financial decision-making, the financial health of the business. So in looking at these, I want you to rate each of these mentally, or you can write these down on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being best. And your worst one maybe will be a 1. Make that a 1. Your best one, maybe you can make a 5 or 4. Some of you are real critical. All right. So what I notice a lot, and go ahead and comment which function is your weakest function in your business in the chat. And this helps me gear this towards what you might need. So go ahead and comment in the chat. For most, it's usually a lot of times lead gen, and your strongest is a lot of times delivery, which means you care more about taking care of your customers than you do about yourself and growing the business, right? And that means you're a pleaser, property manager. I see that a lot. Here's the thing. Each of these 6 are like children that you need to feed. And if you keep feeding delivery and fulfillment, or whatever is a 5 and strong for you right now, and you don't feed the others, you are a neglectful parent and you're not a good business owner. You're not showing up as a good parent if you don't feed lead generation, for example, if that's what's starving. So if you have a 1 that's emaciated and like skinny and scrawny, and then you've got this fat kid that's like, delivering fulfillment, it maybe you need to feed lead gen, right? Give them a sandwich. Come on. All right. So hopefully this is making sense. I want you to focus on, for the business, what the business needs most. And then we need to figure out what you need most as a business owner towards the 4 reasons. These frameworks will help you have a very different company. Hopefully this is making sense. Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense for all of you right now. Awesome. Cool. Hopefully this gives you some insights. What does your business need most right now? Throw it in the chat. I see lead gen, conversion, leads, lead gen. Okay, cool. A lot of times I hear you just need more leads. This may or may not be true, and I'm going to show you why later. I call it the leads myth. So in the DoorGrow code roadmap, there's all these different stages. So let me go back to this and show you. So based on where you're at right now, go ahead and figure out which stage. We've either got the dreamers that want to get started. We've got the seekers that are trying to figure out how to do everything. Solopreneurs, which are doing everything by themselves and it's super stressed out. We've got the promoters where they've figured out how to grow. They've broken the 100-door barrier. But going from 100 to 200, this one little stage is doubling in size. This is a difficult transition. Some of you are in that right now. I saw some 150s and stuff like that. So this is a difficult transition a lot. And these tell you what you need in order to be able to transition through these. Like if you're stuck around 150, you probably don't even have an assistant for yourself. And you're already starting to hire team members, which means you're not taking care of you and you're trying to take care of the business. And that prevents you from being able to scale because you are now the biggest bottleneck and you're not supporting yourself, right? For example, so there's different challenges at different stages. The second sand trap I usually see is maybe between 2 to 400, these 2 stages. This is where you're building out a team, but you're doing it the way a solopreneur thinks, and you have a bunch of team members asking you a bunch of questions, and you're frustrated and thinking, why won't my team members just think for themselves? And how do I eliminate all the mistakes? How do I hire and get the right people? This is a difficult challenge. This is something that we coach on a lot in the mastermind in getting these 3 key systems in place. So depending on where you're at, this can help guide you towards what you actually need in order to grow the business. And you may have missed some things previously. Like I never see anyone break 600 if they haven't solved this culture problem way over here on the team. They don't have the right culture, so they can't have the right team. And they are building the business around the business instead of around themselves. And so they end up by default having the wrong team. And they can't scale past 600 doors because they just keep bouncing around, losing doors and adding doors. So, okay. So that's that. So the first sand trap, you're usually caught in the cycle of suck. I'll go over that framework right now. You have high churn. A lot of times you're losing as many doors as you're getting on at this stage. This is kind of the 50 door to 100 door range. You might be taking on too many accidental investors. You can't afford team members. You have high operational costs, and you're spending way too much time doing stuff that property managers that are more seasoned would never do. All right. So first of all, cycle of suck. This is a huge cost in your business. Some of you, if you actually did an analysis, a cost analysis on each unit that you're managing and each owner, some of them are losing money for you. Some of them are not making you money. So it makes sense to get rid of them. That's a healthy, smart financial decision to make for your business. And so if you're taking on crappy owners, you will have more crappy properties. They'll push back on things, even if they're newly remade and remodeled. Then you're going to have crappy tenants because even if they have A-grade credit and they pay their rent on time, they're going to be super annoyed that they're having pushback on everything from these crappy owners. And you then become a shit shield for a slumlord, which is not fun to be as a property manager. How many of you want to be that? No one's going to raise their hand, right? By show of hands, right? So we want to eliminate that. Which means how many of you do tenant screening? Anybody not do tenant screening? Yeah, you all do tenant screening, right? It's more important to do owner screening. And a lot of you aren't doing owner screening and you aren't doing property screening. And then you don't have a method for screening reviews as well, like getting feedback in advance and mitigating bad reviews. And so we need screening or filtering at each stage. This is the beginning of sales, is to qualify your prospects, to qualify their properties. And if you're not qualifying and you're needy and you're taking on everything, I guarantee your business is making way less money than several of my clients. So this cycle of suck is very important to remember. This is a basic principle that every property manager eventually learns when they fire their first property, like portfolio client with a decent portfolio that was a terrible owner. And then they realized why I should have done that sooner, like every time, right? So if you haven't yet fired somebody, you probably have some people in your portfolio that are actually costing you money and bringing your whole operation down, because one bad property and one bad owner could easily be 10 times the amount of effort and operational cost in your business. This is a huge profitability suck. I want you to be the lighthouse. I want the lighthouse always wins. In the battle between the battleship and the lighthouse, where they're blinking Morse code at each other saying you need to turn course, guess who wins? Well, unless the battleship's a complete idiot, as soon as the lighthouse says, I'm a lighthouse, then they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to move. I want you to be the lighthouse, not let your customers be it. People want safety and certainty. That's what they want to buy. So don't give in, don't fold, don't change your pricing, etc. Okay, here's another stackable framework. These are the 4 Ds to revenue. If you understand this, these are 4 numbers when multiplied that equal the gross revenue in your company, in your business. And a lot of you aren't focused on some of these doors, right? These Ds to revenue. So the first is deals. How many deals am I getting on every month? The second is how many doors per deal? Because if that is a 1 for you on average, you are not going to grow very fast, right? That means maybe owners that have 10 units already. Maybe it means small plexes instead of like one-offs, whatever. However you do this, that second one, if that's a 2, you've doubled your revenue in your business, right? If you can get it on average to a 3 or 4. The next is duration. So if you are taking on, for example, accidental investors that only stick around for a year and then they want to sell it off and they're super emotional about the property and they're very difficult to deal with, right? The duration is weak. And then dollars is maybe versus a 10-year buy and hold, right? There's a 10 times difference there between a 1-year accidental investor and a 10-year buy and hold. This is a significant multiplier as well. And then dollars. So, there are cheapos out there, there are normals, and there are premiums. We talk about this in our pricing secrets training, where we help our clients optimize their pricing model, tackle different tiers and getting into like 3-tier hybrid pricing models and more complex pricing models so that they can close more deals more easily, make more money, and have a higher a lower operational cost, higher profit margin. So if you understand this framework, what would an ideal client look like? Well, you would max out all 4 Ds. These are the people you should be going after. These are the people that you should have in your CRM that you're following up with more often, because you'll grow a lot faster. It's less work to work with unemotional investors rather than these accidental investors that are like trying to keep the property maintained for grandma because she planted the flower bed like 40 years ago and they want it to be a time capsule and never get messed up so they can sell it in a year, right? Okay, so that's the 4 Ds to revenue. The next is framework I want you to understand. This is going to prevent you from wasting a lot of money on marketing. This is cold leads versus warm leads. Not all leads. A lot of you said, I just need lead gen. And you may. And the problem is, if you go out into the marketplace and tell a bunch of property management marketing firms that you just want more leads, they will rub their dirty little hands together and they will laugh evilly and they will give you more leads. So anyone ever seen a movie with a genie like Bedazzled or something, and the genie keeps giving the person these really shitty versions of what they wish for, right? The evil genie. That's what happens when you go into the marketplace and say, I just want leads. The evil genies out there give you these cold leads that have a 10% or worse close rate. This would be like SEO, pay-per-click, content marketing, social media marketing. The challenge with cold leads is that the close rate is usually fairly low and you get a lot of tire kickers, time wasters, and riffraff. And I'll go into greater detail. The way I help some of my clients grow way faster is I get them to focus on warm leads. The close rate is way higher and it actually takes less time and it costs nothing. It costs way less money. And so this is another secret. Would you rather have 10 cold leads at a 10% close rate or 5 warm leads at a 90% close rate? Like word of mouth, that's what warm means. It means they trust you, know you, like you. 5 warm leads, you probably get at least 4 deals, maybe 5, right? 10 cold leads, you might get 1, but you will spend an entire week working on all of those. And that could be a full-time job. This is not a scalable business model. So we help clients grow faster by helping them eliminate their marketing expense and get more doors on more quickly. I know that sounds backwards. So I'll help you make this make sense. So some of you, if anyone doing cold lead marketing, if you're doing that currently, you may be grouping in your word of mouth and warm leads with your cold leads and not paying attention to how different they are. So what I invite you to do, if that's the case, do this cold leads calculator. It's super eye-opening. I've had people come through this calculator where they realized they were spending like $1,700 a month, one client, every month on SEO. In the last 3 months, he only got on, in the last 2 months, I guess he only got on like one deal or something like that. So his acquisition cost was like $3,400. But he was getting some referrals too. So he kind of lumped them all together. And we're like, oh, we're growing. This doesn't make sense if you really take a look at the cold leads. And so this will help you calculate your time. If you have a BDM or a setter or any of this kind of stuff on your team, help you calculate their time as well. All right. So the problem, so let's talk about some of the challenge with some of these things. Like the problem with pay-per-click, for example, is they optimize for clicks. They don't usually often get the property manager. And if they do, they usually are working with several property managers, including your competitors in the same market. And this is an auction, which in my opinion is highly unethical to represent somebody at an auction and represent the neighboring competitor as well. So who do you let win? Well, what they do is they try and balance the ad spend between the two. So they're both getting some leads, but you want somebody that's going to help you just win, right? You want somebody that represents you, but they don't really explain that. And I feel like that's unethical. The acquisition cost per deal is really high on these. If you can get a door for less than $800 per acquisition, like per deal, that's pretty good. And a lot of times it ends up being higher. And some of y'all might be better off just going and buying doors off of some real estate agents that are dabbling in your market. They might even give them up for free because they're miserable. And you have to have immediate follow-up. Usually conversion rates drop roughly about 80% in the first 10, 15 minutes. So if you're paying for this and you don't have an immediate follow-up system mechanism in place, then somebody else, the first person they talk to, is getting the business. So it doesn't even make sense to do this unless you have a really tight, you've really built this growth engine out. This is not my favorite growth engine. We used to do this for clients and we found that clients weren't answering their freaking phones and they were letting these leads get stale. And they were like, we follow up in like 24 hours. Meanwhile, these leads, they've already found other companies and talked to other people by then. If you're doing like, some other strategies like pay-per-lead, like APM, or buying exclusive leads from like Geek or some of these other companies. The challenge is they are doing this, marking it up and charging you a bunch more money, or they're doing this and these are still cold. These are still colder leads. They're still looking at you versus your competitors. You're still playing in the red water in the ugly part of the ocean where all the sharks are. So the other content and social media marketing. A lot of people think you can just do a whole bunch of social media marketing and it's going to like magically help you get business. I have made millions of dollars on social media, and there are some instances where it works. In general, though, I want you to understand that your target audience, investors, do not care about property management. They don't care what you're doing. They're not waking up in the morning going, hey, I want to follow a property manager today. And the way I help my clients understand this is I say, how many of you are following plumbers in your market that want your business right now on social media? Anybody following any plumbers? Maybe? No? Right. Why don't you care about their business? They want your business, right? Same thing. Nobody cares about property management. Your clients don't even care about it. They don't even want to have it. What they want is peace of mind. So the important thing to recognize is that you are the trip to Hawaii. What they want is Hawaii. And if you're smart, you sell the vacation. You don't sell the flight, right? Property management's the flight to get what they want. Okay, so let's talk about why these strategies are less effective. Let's talk about blue ocean versus red water. This is going to make you a savvy buyer. I want you to understand that 70% are self-managing in the US in single-family residential, for example. There's no scarcity out there. There's tons of business available out there. And I guarantee if you asked all of these investors, do you love doing maintenance coordination, inspections, leasing, showing property, et cetera, they would laugh at you and say, of course not. There's no scarcity. There's plenty of business out there, but they're not looking on the internet. They're not looking on Google. So the biggest hurdle, and for perspective, for contrast, in Australia, 80% of single family residential use a property manager. It's the opposite there. They have plenty of awareness there. So the biggest problem, your biggest actual sort of competitor here in the United States is, if we take the whole available potential market, is awareness. There's a lot of people that just aren't aware of property managers, that it's a good idea, that it exists, whatever. And out of those that are aware, then there's that cycle of suck. That sums up most companies in your market. How many of you know that most of your competitors suck in your market? Yeah. We were at a conference. Every time I ask this, everybody's hands go up, but it's never you, right? It's never your business. But most property management companies suck because they're caught in the cycle of suck. And that sums up the whole industry. The industry has a bad reputation. The industry takes on almost every client. The industry sucks as a whole. I want all of you to be better than that. I want my clients to be the best property managers. We coach them on being the best in their market. It is not hard. With how low the bar is in this industry, it is not hard to be exceptional as a property manager. It's not hard at all. And if you're exceptional, you have better reviews, you have a better reputation, you attract more business. It's not difficult to be exceptional if you know how to do it, right? If you know how to be exceptional. This is one of the things to pay attention to. So the next is perception. That eats up. A lot of people are like, oh, I've heard about property managers. They just collect rent and don't do anything. And they never go inside, and like the property just gets worse. And all they do is collect rent, right? Negative perception. After that hurdle, then there's word of mouth that you might be able to capture. So word of mouth captures the best stuff that's left over through this funnel. And then the shitty scraps that fall off the word of mouth table, those are the people searching on the internet, actively looking for a property manager. This is the leftovers. And these are the worst clients. They're the most price sensitive. These are the ones you can capture through SEO or pay-per-click or content marketing or social media marketing or pay-per-lead services. It would be way better if you could grow your business out in the blue ocean. And this is what we coach our clients to do. How do you get business without trying to leverage internet marketing, where the best clients are in the blue ocean, where there's no scarcity and there's tons of business? So if you can understand that and stack that framework, that helps. The next is, let's talk about the problem with SEO. This is actual screenshots of Google Trends. You can go to trends.google.com right now. You can plug in property management right when you go to the page on Google, and then you can backdate, change the date, which is right here, change it all the way back, and I think I'm showing a decade of data right here. It goes back to 2004 is the max you can go back. What you'll notice is that property management, since Google started tracking data, has not increased in its search volume. What has increased, though, over the last decade is competition. It's become more and more and more competitive. And it's created this ugly race to the bottom where everybody's trying to be the cheapest, crappiest company in the market, stuck in the cycle of suck. And marketers love selling you guys this stuff. And that's why they say to do most things. Why should I do social media? Why should I do content? Oh, it helps your Google rankings. I have clients that don't even have websites or have no Google ranking positioning or brand new that are crushing it adding doors. You do not need to have the top spot on Google in order to add doors. Is it nice to have it? Of course, but you do not need it in order to grow faster than many of your competitors that do have that spot. And it's difficult to dethrone them, but you'll notice it spikes every summer. So it's May. So it's spiking right now, and it goes back down in the winter, and that's about it. And it really hasn't grown. And when you compare that term to anything else, like here we're comparing it with like real estate and credit cards and AI, which is now spiking significantly, and hotel, right? You can see it's so minuscule, it almost doesn't even register. Property management does not have a lot of search volume. Most of the biggest companies are already maxing out their ad budgets, and they're spending thousands of dollars on SEO, pay-per-click, all of this. So this is what the problem creates. Here's this framework I call dumb David versus smart David. Everybody knows the story of David Goliath. And if you don't, he's a little guy that decided to fight a big guy. And he would have gotten his ass kicked if he didn't bring a gun to a sword fight. He basically had a sling. He was able to throw it right at the dude's head. But beforehand, they were like, hey, David, you probably should put on this sword and armor and shield, everything that Goliath has, or because he's going to like eat you for lunch. And he's like, I'm not worried about that. And he went out there. He had something different. If he had gone to try and fight big Goliath with the same tools, pay-per-click, SEO, content marketing, pay-per-lead, social media marketing, he would have gotten his ass handed to him. He would have been killed. He would have gotten killed. David basically brought something more effective. And that's what we want to provide you at DoorGrow is a hack, something that's more effective than these things. You can do all of these things. They can be great long-term strategies. It might be worth adding these on, but I find a lot of my clients don't even need these or give them up once they find better strategies that are working for them. So don't be dumb David, be smart David. Don't do what your biggest competitors are already doing, and they have way more money and way more power to do than you do. All right, so here's how you compete with the big companies, right? They have challenges. They have big marketing budgets. So that's a challenge for you. They have lots of customers and clout, so they get lots of referrals in, like just from within their own network. These big companies often have good rankings and local SEO positioning. Search engine optimization is what that stands for. If people don't know, they get so many leads, they become complacent and they ignore their website often for like several years. It becomes outdated. They have many poor reviews online because they might not be focusing on that super effectively. They mistakenly believe if they just provide good service, they'll have great reviews. And then they have high overhead and outdated methods, right? So what are the opportunities? Prospecting, they're not doing it. They may not be actively doing outreach. It costs very little. Reputation, you can have a better strategy for getting reviews. Well, each of these strategies alone, we can help our clients add 100, 200 doors a year. Website, you could have something newer, better. Branding, you could have a better brand name than they do in a lot of instances or appear better. Sales, you can have a better sales process or be better at closing the deals than they are. And technology, sometimes they're a little bit behind and you can hop on some of the newest and latest, greatest tools. There's a lot of cool AI tools coming out lately. Another challenge, franchises I see in the industry, they oversell their markets. Your interests are often tertiary. They first want to sell locations, then they want to sell you services, and then maybe they will help you win is like a third sort of level thing. And so they often provide constraint instead of growth. They're really expensive. They have a diminishing long-term return. I've helped many franchisees leave their franchises over the years. They attract entrepreneurs. These are people that want the safety and certainty of a franchise, And so a lot of times they're attracting the wrong people that aren't the crazy cowboys and cowgirls that are willing to do what it takes, take risks, and focus on fulfillment and freedom. They often have poor branding. Some of the top franchises in the industry have the worst, most generic brand names that are not memorable, and they've not been able to eke out much market share. They focus on cold lead marketing and old ineffective strategies. And some of these companies, you might want to ask them, but these franchises, some of them are making at least half of their gross revenue annually as a corporation, like the parent company, off of the kickbacks they get from the vendors they force you to use. Just let that sink in. Okay. And they make you use it. How to escape. I'm not going to talk about that. I have videos on that. You can go check it out on YouTube. But let's talk about the pipeline. This is super important. This is where we get into the leads myth. If you believe that you just need more leads, you may want to take a look at this, because what I find is when I dig into businesses, a lot of times they have blind spots. They have these leaks that exist in their pipeline. Lead gen happens at the outset. You generate leads, but then they get fed into your sales pipeline. And if you have leaks in this hose and you're trying to grow your business, it might not be much coming out the other end. There's a lot of attrition. You're wondering, why am I not getting deals, even though I have all these leads? Well, when we invest in lead generation, we're investing in what I call the 5 currencies: time, energy, focus, cash, and effort. And it doesn't make sense to invest all of this into a leaky hose or a leaky pipeline, because otherwise you're just wasting more. And so the more you turn this on, the faster you turn this on, the more time, energy, focus, cash, and effort you're wasting. This is why some of my clients ramp up before they come to us, ramp up lead gen to an extreme, and they are worse off than they were before because they have less time, less focus, and less money. And they're spending a lot more effort, right? So before we do any lead generation, we want to make sure you shore up the leaks. And these are the 6 biggest leaks we've identified in property management companies. This is the front end of the business. So the branding, some clients are losing out on 50% of the deals and leads they could be getting just because of this leak, because they're branded as a real estate company, for example. And that prevents word of mouth, for example, significantly from real estate agents, right? Second thing that we help with is reviews. So if you have bad reviews, this can significantly stop lead flow. It's like a clamp on the lead flow. Your website, if people are getting driven to your website from the online reviews, from word of mouth, from your good branding, if the website is not effective at capturing leads, then this could, and you can score this. I'll show you how. You can grade your website to see how effective it is. Most of our competitors' websites get below a 50%, which is an F grade on our DoorGrow score quiz when it comes to conversions and getting business. Next is pricing. Most of you have a 10% or some sort of flat fee pricing model, and you're losing out on targeting at least 2 different types of buyers that you probably would prefer to have, and you're losing out a lot of revenue. And so we optimize our clients' pricing model. The next big leak that we see in most every business is purpose. This is the most important thing that we teach clients. This is our greatest secret to sales, is sharing why you do what you do. Similar to that golden bridge slide I showed you earlier, we teach our golden bridge formula for sales. We talk about our 4-phase selling, and that gets into our pitch. But purpose helps lay the foundation for culture, which helps you have much more profitability and a better team. This is the most important thing we'll probably ever do with a client, getting that dialed in, and then pitch. We actually turn this into a whole class, a program that we teach our mastermind clients. We run every quarter, every 90 days, called the Rapid Revamp class. And just dialing in any one of these leaks, I have stories. I won't go into all these now, but any one of these could double or significantly grow your business or your growth, speed up your growth, depending on which of these is a big enough leak. And if you get all of these dialed in, even just a little bit better, then you're going to have a lot more lead flow through your business, and it's going to be a lot more effective. So don't waste time just trying to shovel more leads into your pipeline without taking a look to figure out, do you have leaks? How can you find these leaks? So let's talk about these real quick. Bad branding. 90% of business fail in the first 5 years. 50% fail in the first year. And this hurts your best lead source, which is word of mouth, which are 90% close rate, super warm leads. It hurts being found online if the name's off. And after businesses fail, nobody thinks, oh, maybe I chose the wrong name. It's such a huge blind spot. Just by optimizing names. And we've rebranded more than probably 300 or 400 companies. We're the world leaders at this. We've helped clean up a lot of businesses. And we help with that logo design, everything. It's included in our mastermind. It's just part of what we do to help you. Some quick examples: generic names, those kill word of mouth. Misspelled names, because then they like go and try and look you up, and then they're finding like proper T, which is spelled PROPER-T management, or some generic name, or misspelled names get auto-corrected. Using the same color as your competitors makes you look like everyone else. Graphic designers often do way too much and make the logos too crazy, and etc. There's all these leaks. So we help you get that cleaned up. Part of what our process is helping clean up your local business listings and getting that out there. We have our reputation software. If you ever want to check out that, this can help you get more reviews online more easily from your clients. It's part of one of our growth engines that we'll leverage as a strategy. Because otherwise having the best review company is more important than having the top spot on Google, hands down. And people trust online reviews just as much as pretty much now as from a trusted friend. And it increases your close rate on every deal. Your website could have leaks as well, right? So if you want to grade your website, you can scan this or write down doorgrow.com/quiz and test your website out. See what kind of grade you get. This is based on principles that have been proven to be effective for conversion rate optimization. doorgrow.com/quiz. So most sites fail miserably. We want you to have an A-grade website. So we include currently in our mastermind a seed site website. We've been doing this. This is how we started as a web design agency, and we gravitated into coaching because everybody wanted to grow their business and helping them. Our sites are, I believe, the best in the industry. They're actually built on WordPress. They're not some proprietary lockdown sort of system that they don't give you access to. And they're easy to edit. They're responsive, which means they're mobile friendly. They're based on years of testing and modern trends, and they're SEO optimized, right? So these are websites that work really well. And that's included in our program as we take you through our rapid revamp process. If you have some different leaks in your pipeline, you can already see, like maybe you've done the website quiz. Maybe you're like, yeah, my branding is kind of off. Maybe, whatever it might be. Maybe your reviews aren't good. Maybe you don't really have a good sales pitch. Go ahead and leverage this calculator and figure out what's the opportunity cost? How much money could I be missing out on? This will help you calculate that and turn that into money. And so you can see it's just doorgrow.com/missed deals. There's a double D in there, missed deals. And, or you can scan this and go right to that. Cool. Now, some of you are like, I don't want to change this. I don't want to change my pricing. I'm definitely not changing my branding. He just said my kid's ugly and needs plastic surgery. Like, your business is not your child. Well, what I want you to realize is that if you continue to hold on to what you have now, it's kind of like the monkey that puts his hand in the monkey trap. They're not smart enough to let go of the bait, the shiny object, or whatever it might be. And there's fruit nearby. There's like easy fruit to grab, but you're holding on to the moldy peanuts in the monkey trap. And so if you're unwilling to let go of what isn't working in order to have something better, I can't help you. So let's recap on why you can't grow. Sometimes you're taking on the wrong doors. Tough portfolio, no time, high overhead. Maybe you charge too little. You don't have the right fees in place. You don't have good profit margin. Maybe you don't have a good reputation strategy in place. Poor reviews, no leads. You have poor branding. No one remembers you. You have less effective website, fewer conversions. You don't have a solid sales process, fewer closes. You spend too much on marketing, which means you have a lower close rate and you have less money to invest in systems in your team. And it's taking too much time. You have too many leaks in your pipeline, which means you're bleeding money big time. And and you're still doing trying to generate leads. And then you've got no feedback and poor retention. So you're working twice as hard to get the results that you want. And you're trying to do it all yourself. Maybe you're experiencing some overwhelm and burnout. So you're not focusing on business development or growth. So now some of you may be beyond this. You're like, I'm adding doors, but I really deep down don't want to add doors. So this is for those of you that are maybe over 200 units. You're at the place now that if you know deep down that your stress would be lower, not by adding another 100 or 200 doors, which we could help you do. Your stress would be lowered. That would actually increase your stress. Your stress would be lower by dialing in your team, your systems, and your processes. If that's you, feel free to comment in the chat, let us know. But if that's you, you're in what I call the second sand trap or the team sand trap. You're out of that solopreneur sand trap. Okay. So you probably have the wrong team. You're probably wearing wrong hats in the business. You're still doing stuff you don't enjoy doing. You're already micromanaging your team. And you probably are saying, I hate micromanaging my team. But you're trying to implement and think you need more processes, micromanaging, and more KPIs, more control, more micromanaging in order to get more results from your existing team and more profitability. I call this the process myth. The idea that if I just had more processes, KPIs, and technology and systems, then I could squeeze more blood from the stone, right? I could get more juice out of my team. And the reality is it's impossible to create enough processes and systems to make a mediocre team perform with excellence. Does everybody get this? I want that to sink in. It's impossible to out-process a mediocre team to make them great. Here's what is possible. It is possible to have terrible processes, but amazing team members that are a great culture fit, and you still are crushing it. Great team members will figure stuff out. They will create processes in their head. You don't have to have KPIs to manage them. Like, they will just do a great job. And I call this the process myth. What they need is, you need culture defined. You need the 3 fits with your team: culture fit, personality fit, and skill fit. And there's perceived pain connected to getting more doors usually at this stage, which means you have built the wrong team or the wrong business up to this point, and we need to change it a bit. And you likely know how to grow at this stage, but you are focused elsewhere. And you're not focused on growing the business. Here's the thing I want you to understand if you're at this stage. The more valuable you are to your company, the less valuable your company is to you or a buyer or anyone, or to your clients. Does this make sense? Great. I want your business to be valuable, which means it's now time to get out of that solopreneur mentality that you're the best and you can do everything and you need to do everything. And it's now time to get good people that are better at these things than you, especially the things you don't enjoy. Otherwise, this is what your org chart looks like. Your name is in parentheses next to everybody. It's you. Oh, who does maintenance coordination? Well, I've got Steve, but Steve escalates everything to me if there's a problem, right? So it's you. So I'll talk about a couple of other frameworks for those that are in the next level or for the operational challenges. First, this is a framework called the 3 fits. If you recognize you have team members right now that you are not all 3 fits, they've got to go, because they're costing the business too much money and you're trying to out-process them or micromanage them to get them to be great. Culture means they share your values, which means you can trust them. If you don't trust people on your team, then you're not going to give them the right things to do, and you're not going to let them take over pieces of your business. So they've got to be the right culture fit. Personality fit. It means they naturally love doing this job and you don't have to push them or motivate them. If they're the wrong personality fit, you will never get them to be great. They will never be great, as it says right here, even if the other 2 are a match. If they're a culture fit and a personality fit, but they're not the right skill fit, they can be trained, but only if they're intelligent enough to be trained. So this culture is about values. They're a value fit. Personality is about love. They love doing this role. It's the right one for them, personality-wise. And skill means they're intelligent enough to do the job and they can learn. If they're not intelligent enough, it's impossible. You're always going to be frustrated. If they don't have the right personality fit, they're never going to be motivated. You're always going to be pushing them. Come on, why haven't you made 20 calls today, or 30 calls, or 100 calls today? They hate picking up the phone. They don't like talking to people, right? Culture. Why did you do it this way, maintenance coordinator? Like, my value is everything should be done in the most expensive way possible that is the most quality, and your value is maybe different, is like to do it as cheap as possible, even if it breaks quicker, right? Neither one's wrong, but they might have just different values than you. And so there's always going to be conflict. and you won't trust them. So you're like, I might as well just do it myself. Here's another thing that I want you to understand. This is, I call the clone myth. Early stage entrepreneurs believe that they just need to find somebody else like them. They need to find somebody that's good at everything. You're not good at everything. You can do everything, and maybe you're okay at everything. But the reality is it takes like 10 people to clone you. If you find somebody else just like you, they will probably leave you and take clients. They will start their own business. So the goal is to find specialists, people that are the right personality fit for the role, and to create job descriptions that are based on a single personality type. All right. Here's another thing I want you to understand. This is very important. You cannot build the right team around the wrong person. So right now, if you're still wearing hats in your business you don't enjoy wearing, that means you're the wrong person for that particular role. And usually business owners show up and they still keep dabbling and stepping in on different roles and different jobs. And so they're not functioning authentically as showing up in the business, doing the things that give them freedom and fulfillment and contribution and make you feel supported. So then by default, if you build a puzzle around you, a team around you, and you're still wearing hats you don't enjoy wearing, I know for certain you have the wrong team, because it's impossible to build the right team around the wrong person. So if you're still wearing hats and you have an entire team, you're still wearing hats you don't enjoy wearing, and you have an entire team, you have the wrong team. If you have an entire team and you're wearing just the hats you enjoy wearing, you've built the right team around you, then it'll be a very different team. It'll be a very different business. And that's the business I want you to have. This is what we help clients get to. Like Jeff Garner, who we helped replace his entire team. He thought he had the right team. He's like, my team's great. They're awesome. We asked him some questions and then it became pretty clear. Well, are you enjoying doing everything you're doing? No, I'm having to do this. I'm doing this. He was frustrated. Cool. You have the wrong team. What do you need? So we had to first figure out Jeff. We have to first figure out you. This is the purpose thing that we solve in the rapid revamp. We need to figure out so we can build your magic golden bridge to connect you with your clients. Here's another framework. This comes from Roland Frazier. I believe he's a lawyer and an entrepreneur and I think an accountant. He's an interesting guy. He ended up going to jail for some sort of white collar thing, but he has this cool framework called the 5 exits. And here's a prettier version. You want to exit your business in some way. And these are different levels of achievement, maybe in your business. I want you to find the level of exit that means the most to you right now. Maybe you just want to exit the frontline work. You're still involved in some of the frontline stuff. You're still doing maintenance. You're still doing leasing stuff. That's exiting the line. The next is exiting the staff, like going from being maybe a manager to a CEO. You want to exit that and actually be CEO, like running the company. Maybe you want to exit the org chart next. So for me, I'm enjoying being CEO in my business, but eventually I may want to exit that and somebody else can step in. And then maybe I'll be on the board. Then you may want to exit the board. So you're out of the org chart. You're now exiting the board. Now you're just an investor. You're just taking money. You don't have input and you're enjoying yourself. And then maybe exit the ownership. I've seen way too many property managers think the only way to exit number one, the line, is to sell their company. I've seen this over and over and over again because they're miserable. I want to help you get through the exit level to where you're the happiest. And the same process to exit your business at these different levels to build your business so it can sell is the same process to create a business that you might want to keep, that you wouldn't need to sell because it's giving you something back. It's giving you fulfillment or freedom or money or whatever you want to get out of it. So this is stuff that we can help with in our mastermind. We have a whole process for how we get you out of this leadership hell, how we figure out what things you enjoy, don't enjoy doing, how we build out the right job descriptions that attract the right people that are culture fit, personality fit, skill fit, etc. We have different software systems for ops, for processes that really create a lot of clarity, and for sales, et cetera, and different tools that you get discounted rates on in our mastermind. A lot of you might think you don't have time. And a lot of you are saying, I don't have time to do all this stuff I know I need to do in my business. The reality is we all have the same amount of time. You're just prioritizing probably the wrong things in the business. So one of the things we will do as coaches is help you reprioritize your priorities. You don't have to give any of them up. We're just going to change the order so you can start to get what you want. If you're not getting what you want, you have a priority problem, not a time problem. Because we all get to choose how we spend our time. Time's a currency. And if we change our priorities, and we help clients figure that out by doing time studies and some of these different hacks. Now, some of you are probably like, okay, Jason, how do you actually help us at Door? So I'm going to cover some growth engines real quick so you get an idea of how we can help you.
I have to go.
Okay.
So you know.
All right.
You should ask them to put in the chat.
Okay.
Is interested in booking
all right. If you're interested in booking a call, I'll throw up that slide again real quick because this has kind of gone long. Grab the link, drgrw.com/1HR right here, or take a picture real quick on your phone. So I need to wrap up. So the growth engines, I'll talk about these real quick. So we've got Trojan horse selling. It's a great strategy for startups. It gives you knowledge and helps you get your initial clients. And it's really low pressure. It's just interviewing people that are your potential target audience to get feedback on your new business idea. That works really effectively. DoorGrow neighbor strategy. I had mentioned that early in this webinar. This is a great strategy for getting all of your neighboring property managers to be connecting you and feeding you business. And that can work really well. Realtor intros, which are better than getting referrals. We've had one client add 310 doors in a year from only 5 or 6 agents. Intros are way better than referrals, but you have to destroy the idea in the agent's mind that you want referrals and explain why those are bad and why you don't want them. I know that sounds backwards in order to make this work. And then otherwise, that's all they'll give you. Outbound partner prospecting to create partners. This could be leveraging vendors, lenders, attorneys, et cetera. Groups, one-to-many sales, kind of what I'm doing right now to some degree. And then warm outreach using reviews and direct to investors, which is what Kent Hardman did, who I showcased at the beginning. So these are some of these strategies. So if you would like some help, here's my big question to you. If we were to work together for a year, 12 months from now, how would you know this had been worth it or a success? What would that look like for you? If we could create a different future together, what your future probably looks like over the next 12 months, because you can look at what you've accomplished over the last year. If it's not what you want, you have what I call a default future. You know what it's going to be. Let's create a created future with DoorGrow and help you get what you want. So why maybe is this a must for you right now? Maybe your staffing costs are likely double what they should be. Very typical. Maybe you're leaking profit. Your profit margin matters more than getting doors. You deserve more time to be a business owner. You're already wasting and leaking money with ads and team, et cetera. You keep wasting time putting out fires. Can you have Hassan talk to him? You and your business partner lack alignment. You have a budget, growth, and need to create financial health, and someday never comes. You've been doing this for well over a year now, the wrong way. So we don't work with everybody. We're very picky about the clients we allow into the mastermind. So reach out. Okay, I'll wrap it up. I got to go. So if you'd like to work with us, we have some criteria. So book a call, get on a call with our team, and we'll talk with you about what it takes to become a DoorGrow client. And until next time, to our mutual growth. Bye.